Have you ever felt useless? Like no matter how hard you tried, the world had no place for you? What if the very weakness that others mocked was actually the key to saving them one day? This is the story of Daniel, a boy many dismissed as worthless, who grew to prove that everyone carries a gift the world desperately needs. Stay with me, because what Daniel discovered at the end will change the way you see yourself. Daniel grew up in a small town where strength was the highest measure of worth. His two older brothers were tall, broad-shouldered, and strong. They worked in fields, lifted heavy loads, and won the constant praise of their father. Daniel was different. His body was thin, his arms weak, and he often struggled with even the simplest chores. While his brothers were admired, Daniel was pitied. Neighbors would whisper, "That boy will never be of use." Only one person defended him quietly, his mother, Grace. She would place her hand on his shoulder when he came home defeated and say softly, "Daniel, you have something they cannot see yet. Do not give up." Daniel tried desperately to prove himself. He worked under the hot sun but collapsed in exhaustion. He carried wood only to drop it, earning laughter from the workers. His father sighed often, his brothers mocked him, and the village dismissed him. Each failure made Daniel shrink further into silence. But every night, Grace would sit beside his bed. "Son," she whispered, "you are not weak. You are waiting for the right place where your gift belongs." Her faith kept him from breaking completely. One evening, after another day of humiliation, Daniel sat outside staring at his frail hands. He whispered, "Why was I even born if I cannot help anyone?" Grace heard him and knelt down. "Daniel, do not believe those voices. You were not born to be like your brothers. You were born to be you. That is enough." Her eyes shone with certainty, but Daniel's doubts still gnawed. Could weakness ever become strength? Determined to search for meaning, Daniel wandered the outskirts of town. There he discovered Samuel, an old carpenter working alone in a quiet workshop. Samuel's tools shaped rough logs into smooth beams with patient precision. Fascinated, Daniel asked, "How do you do that?" Samuel smiled. "Strength is not only in the arms. Sometimes it is in the eyes, the patience, the heart. If you wish, I will teach you." Daniel accepted. At last, he found something he could do. His hands, though weak, were gentle. His eyes noticed details others missed. Under Samuel's guidance, and with Grace's quiet encouragement at home, Daniel discovered a hidden gift: craftsmanship. The road was not easy. Daniel's first carvings were rough, his measurements uneven, his joints unstable. His brothers mocked him again, saying carpentry was for the weak. But Daniel pressed on. Day after day, he learned to cut, measure, and join. He failed often, sometimes throwing away pieces after hours of effort. Grace would find him discouraged, and she would smile. "Your father sees strength in fields. I see strength in your patience. Keep going." Months turned into years. His hands grew steady, his patience deepened, and his designs became admired. People began to notice, but still, doubts lingered in their voices. Nice chairs, but will that ever save a town in need? Then came a storm. It tested their will, and the path forward all but disappeared. A sense of panic spread. They were inherently strong, but that strength alone couldn't rebuild what had been lost. The townspeople turned to Samuel, but Samuel, now old and bent, looked at Daniel instead. "It is your time," he said. Daniel's heart pounded. Could he lead such a task? Doubt returned, but Grace placed her hand on his shoulder. "Son, you were born for this moment. I always knew it." Her words lit the fire within him. At first, the villagers scoffed. "Daniel, the weak boy, how can he rebuild a bridge?" But Samuel stood by him, and Grace's faith shone through her eyes. Daniel did not lift the heaviest beams. Instead, he guided others with plans and designs. His sharp eye saw where the wood must be cut. His careful hands shaped joints that held firm. He worked alongside the villagers, showing them how each piece fit together. Weeks passed. Under Daniel's leadership, the bridge rose. When it was complete, it stood stronger than any before. Families crossed it, children laughed upon it, and the town rejoiced. And in that moment, Daniel once called useless, became the one who saved them all. This story is not about carpentry. It is about the truth that every person carries a gift, even if hidden beneath weakness or doubt. Strength is not always measured in muscle. Worth is not always visible at first glance. Daniel proved that everyone has a purpose. Sometimes it takes patience, encouragement, and belief, often from someone who loves us, to uncover it. And when it is found, that gift can change the world. So what about you? Have you ever felt small, overlooked, or useless? Remember Daniel's story. You have a gift waiting to be discovered. Do not measure your worth by the world's expectations. Measure it by the light within you, waiting to be revealed. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone who doubts themselves, and let us remind the world that everyone has a purpose and everyone is needed.